Well, if I said to you, could you just go to the top of Everest without going through base camp, and without going through the different levels, without acclimatising, you'd know the answer. So I feel it's exactly the same. If you want to go to the top of Everest, you've got to go to base camp. First of all, you've got to get to base camp, which will take you 5 days. Then you've got to acclimatise on base camp. Then you've got to go up, there's different levels. And at each level you have to acclimatise because the air is thin. And you get all these people up there who are bitching, oh, they can't breathe. Yeah, well, if you want more air, climb a smaller mountain. You know, so it's going to different levels in the martial arts, and it's a layering process. Sometimes you have to go up to a higher level and then come back down again and acclimatise and rest up. And normally with Everest, they'll get within you know, a few hundred metres of the peak and then rest up for 2 or 3 days, because they know when they go for the peak, they've got to hit the top and come back down again in one go. So yeah, I don't say that there is a specific route. There's lots of different routes. Some people find higher consciousness through climbing mountains, and some people find higher consciousness, you know, through martial arts, through kata. Some do it by going on the door. You know, people find it in their own way. For me, the route was going through that forge because it was something I needed to do. But in physical martial arts, I suppose let's go to the brass tacks. If you want to be good at combat, you have to go through a physical court, through a physical forge, absolutely. If you want to do physical combat, martial arts means designed for war. Right? But that war is not just about external, it's about internal, because the real war, the internal jihad, is inside your head. So, but first of all, you go to the outside stuff. The outside stuff forces you to go back in again. Everything outside is just a projection. It's like, I think the world's like a big video game, and we project and create things that will test us, that will build us. But it's all internal. Yeah, in the Bhagavad Gita it says, lift the self by the self. Never let the self droop down, because the self is the self's only friend, and the self is the self's only enemy. I lived my whole life on that one verse. It's all about you. It's not the government's fault. It's not it's not God's fault. It's not your neighbour's fault. You know, it's not the council's fault. It's not the way you were brought up. It's down to you. It's down to you to create what you want with your life. And once you do that, that's very empowering. Once you accept that, the moment you blame people, you become their prisoner, and the blame never ends. So for me, it's just about accepting responsibility for everything. And once I accept responsibility for everything, I can affect everything. And I can affect the war in Iraq without going around London with a placard. I can affect the war in Iraq for the better by being a better person, and that will resonate out. If every individual looked after their own little corner, the world would be a lot better. So that's really what it's all about for me. It's all about internal martial arts. But that's the real meaning of martial arts to me. So martial arts designed for war, but the war is always an internal jihad. It's always an internal war. And once we can let go of the exterior stuff and just start working on the nectar, then we'll grow a lot quicker.